Hey there, this is James Wilson with MTV Strength Training Systems and BikeJames.com. And today I want to share a fun challenge I call the Baby Man Challenge. And this is based on some stuff that I learned from Steve Maxwell. He's a really smart guy, been in the fitness field for over 50 years. Now he travels around the world doing seminars and learning from the best people in the world. And so I got a chance to go to a seminar of his about a month ago, and he showed us a lot of great mobility moves and body weight strength moves and stuff like that. And so these are three moves that I took, or three things that I took from his seminar. But I call him the Baby Man Challenge for a couple reasons. One, because it's kind of a funny name, and if you get the Adventure Time reference, then you get some bonus points. And two, because it takes us along the basic development stuff that you do going from a baby to a man. And there's a lot of different stages of development, but three of the main ones are being able to roll over, being able to crawl, and then being able to stand up and squat and get up off of the ground. And so we're going to go through some exercises that work those three stages of development, hence the Baby Man Challenge. So these are kind of difficult, so it'll be interesting to see if you can do them. So if you haven't tried these, definitely try these out. So the first one's a rolling pattern. Now again, just being able to roll from your stomach to your back and back over is pretty simple, but this one's a little more difficult because we're going to do it without using our arms or legs. We're just going to use our head. And so I'll show you how this works. You're going to start out by laying down on your stomach. You're going to cross your arms in front of you like this, and the hands, the feet come up off of the ground. And here's how this is going to look. I'm going to look up at the ceiling, keep looking, trying to look behind me, and you see how that rolls me over. Now at this point, so I have my head dug into the mat, so I have some space between my back. I'm not laying flat, and my head's up, and again, I'm going to turn my head and look, and that's going to get me to roll back over to this position here. Now, what you don't want to do is what is called a log roll, especially when you're rolling from your stomach to your back. You want everything to separate. You're not trying to get as stiff as possible and just get everything to come along with you. Like, that's not it. A good rolling pattern, you're going to see the head, then the shoulders, then the hips, then the legs. Okay, and then same thing on the way back over. You're going to turn the head, and then the shoulders, then the hips. There's a little bit, it looks a little bit more like a log roll coming from the back to the stomach, but there's a distinct difference in feeling in how that feels. You're trying to stay as relaxed as possible from the neck down and just use your head turning to drive your rolling. So that one's a really good one. It really helps with the neck and the cervical spine and a lot of stuff. We spend a lot of time like this, and so having something that'll help open that up is really important. So you'll probably find rolling one way is easier than the other, and that indicates some sort of asymmetry going on with your fundamental core strength. So definitely something that you want to try to address, and rolling is a great way to do that. Now, next step up from rolling is crawling. So I like this little sequence because what we're going to do is we're going to crawl in a square. We're going to go 4 steps forward, 4 steps to one side, 4 steps back, and then 4 steps the other side. So you don't need much space, but because you're changing direction so quickly, your brain's got to work a little bit. So real quick, when we're crawling, what we want to do is avoid this, where both sides are moving at the same time. We want to do what's known as contralateral. So we have one side that's close together and one side that's spread apart at all times. And so when I move, my opposites are going to move. This is what we want to do with our crawling. And then same thing sideways. When you're going sideways, you're going to have, again, the hands close together, the knees are apart, and I'm going to spread the hands and bring the knees together. And so I'm always going to have one side close and one side far away in order to do this. So again, show you how this looks. Get set. Try to keep your head up as much as possible. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the fourth one, bring your hands together and your knees apart. That makes it easy to start going sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I'm going to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on and on and on. So I like to go 3 or 4 times one direction and then switch and go 3 or 4 times the other direction. And you can either crawl on your knees Or you can do what's known as the beast or the leopard crawl in some circles, where you're getting up, your knees up off. We don't want the butt up high. We still want to keep the butt low, but the knees are going to be off the ground. So, you know, it would look like that. Definitely way more of a core challenge for you doing that. Just a little off thing. You really want to, like a simple exercise like the bird dog, where you're extending one arm and one leg. Try doing that from the beast, where you're balancing. Anyways, a little off subject there, but just another way to make that exercise challenging. So the crawling's real good. Try that. And then finally, we're going to do what's known as the Russian squat sequence. This is something that he learned from some Russian athletes. And so it's just a really good hip and ankle mobility drill. And it's going to take us through a couple really good fundamental human postures. And so the first one is we're just going to squat down. Okay, and we should be able to hang out here. This is, you know, where a lot of people in countries that don't have a lot of chairs, this is where they spend most of their time, just hanging out like this. So this deep squat position is really good for us. So what we're going to do is I'm going to drop one knee to the ground and sit like this. This is what's known as the hunter, right? You can aim a gun or whatever from here, but again, just another one of the basic fundamental human postures. From here, I'm going to drop this knee to the ground, and I end up in this 90-90 sit. Again, another basic fundamental human posture that we should be able to sit in pretty comfortably. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my knees. So this knee, the knees are going to come up and over, right? And so now I'm going to straighten this leg out, and without, I'm just going to scoot back a little bit to give me a little room. Without using my hands, I'm going to sit up over this shin to this position here. Now, from here I'm going to stand back up to a squat, but here's where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to roll over the outside of my big toe knuckle. So if you watch this foot here, I'm going to roll over it. And so I'm actually going to end up this way. The big mistake that people make is they'll just stand up. They'll pick this foot up and they'll stand up like this. It's not horrible, but you're not getting the ankle mobility that you could. Again, if you watch, when I roll over this big toe knuckle, like that, I get really good ankle mobility. Then from here, I would just drop this knee, drop down to my 90-90, switch, back leg comes out front. You'll know if you do it wrong because it just won't work. Sit up over the shin, and then again, I'm gonna sit up by rolling over that big toe knuckle, drop the shin, drop the knee, 90-90, switch, forward, up, down, drop, 90, switch, just keep going around in a circle. So again, have fun with that. It took me a little bit to get that sequence down. So just play with it, practice it, and you'll get it down. But again, really great hip mobility, really great ankle mobility, two things that we need a lot of as mountain bikers. So there you have it, my 3 baby man challenges. You're rolling over using just your head, your crawling pattern in the square, going both directions, and then finally the Russian squat sequence, which is basically working on our ability to squat down, sit in some basic postures, working on hip mobility, the ability to get up without using our hands, which is an important thing. And so there you go. A lot of good core strength, mobility, great things in that. So hope you accept the challenge, try them out, have some fun with them. Definitely know that they'll help you out when you get good at them. Once again, this has been James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems. You can check me out on the web at bikejames.com, where you can find a lot of great info. Got a free 30-day routine that you can sign up for that'll show you more great stuff like this. And I'll talk to you next time.